Oh, goody. Now, is it going to change now? It's not a penis poster. This is not a penis. This is a fish. Oh, you can't see.
No. Now it's the wild.
It is now the wild.
Yes.
Getting pretty wild down here. Casiomania by KittenLabs is the first entry. Oh dear, you need headphones for this one.
For Casio
Apparently.
FX 9860 calculators. Cool.
Okay.
We're no strangers to love.
Yeah.
A lot of DMA trickery to get some PCM audio going on there.
Yeah.
That was nice. Strong start.
Very strong start. Plug headphones into the 2.5 millimeter serial port. Yes, really. Okay, that's yeah.
That's a small serial port.
Next up, Minki with Beans 2040 on...
Raspberry Pi 2040.
Ah,
At least if I think that's the
I would
Probably.
guess so, yeah.
that's the mini little thing.
party production.
Yes, Jeff Geerling would love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the, for people who don't know, that's the microcontroller Raspberry Pi make. Right.
Okay, Chipo Django 3 by Rabenauge and Bitshifters. I still cannot pronounce Rabenauge correctly. It's a AAA production, triple A production. Amiga, Archimedes, and Atari. Another cross-platform music disc packed with 42 minutes of chip tunes by 17 amazing musicians.
So 42 minutes of entry now then.
Oh, we can go and get lunch.
Actually, I'd really like to see if this ran on the MSX.
Rabenauge and
Bitshifters.
Bitshifters. I always have to be very careful saying that.
Bitshifters.
Yes. Shit, bifters. No. Oh, dear. Hotvermeister.
Okay.
Hotvermeister by numpties. Okay, this is something for the PTU 1210. Which
Okay.
is DJ software that people use to play modules.
This project started way back at Revision 2025. When Ian Hoffman started discussing with me the possibility of doing a board for his DJ sets. But no matter what we tried, there was just no way we could understand what Ian was asking for. We just couldn't understand him. Fortunately, there is someone who understands deranged musician. Simon and I have worked together in the past on some projects, and when I mentioned this to him, he was more than happy to get involved. So knowing Ollie and Simon get on so well together, I left them to get on with designing the PCB.
That capacitor was on backwards.
So soon after the PCB arrived, I knew Simon wouldn't let me down. Hoffman's requirements are a PCM-CIA card for the Amiga 1200 and Amiga 600. He also wants a built-in SD card with a driver. The card must take over the machine in such a way as it ignores any internal hard disks, avoiding the need to open the case. Because Ian is a greedy musician, he wanted a little bit of RAM so he could save his chip memory. And finally some blinking lights because no DJ setup would be complete without them. Thanks to Ollie and Simon for designing this PCB. So I got to work building this thing, but when I went to buy the PCM-CIA connectors, they were no longer available. So I reached out to some people in the community who I thought might have some, and they told me to fuck.
We too rude.
So as a plan B, we switched to desoldering from PCM-CIA to CF card adapters using a hot plate, which worked kind of well actually. So the design works by using a CH32 CPU, interrupt driven on the PCM-CIA connector. The chip contains a flash ROM. We need no glue logic, just a voltage regulator. We have an SD card driven directly from the CPU. And there is 4 meg of slow SPI RAM on the card, which has got a cache on the CPU for performance. And with the prototype complete, all that remained was to create a 3D printed shroud. Using the original CF card adapter plastics as a guide, I quickly knocked up the design in Fusion CAD. The 3D print came out really nice, and it worked first time, honestly. So we were quickly able to get the card working and running, having developed the driver and an emulator. However, with revision falling just after April the 1st this year, this presented us with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to embed a demo that could not be skipped into Hoffman's DJ setup.
It's shite.
And as you can imagine, Ian was thrilled with this.
You absolute bug.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's the thing he's been aggressively teasing on his stream for the past several weeks.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Oh dear. HOTF.
Yes.
Which I didn't even realize that it was advertised in the ANSI Compo yesterday also. I missed it because I hadn't seen this yet.
Next up, Finite State Transducer by Flaming Marshmellows. PC demo, but yeah, some moving head stage effects and stuff.
And we can make actual flaming marshmallows outside.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a shit ton of stage lights, and we're definitely going to use them.
Yep. By javelfraise and DiFFtY. A tribute to all the nice and beautiful people of Revision 2026. This demo is a navigable version of the seam carving algorithm by Schaedelproduktion. You made me read this because of all these hard things.
Yes, I did.
Yes. This algorithm allows the computer to remove all the uninteresting features of the human face to extract the true essence of beauty. Great thanks to all the nice people that willingly let us take pictures of them.
It's a really good job that tonight's going to be a late one because I don't think I'm ever going to sleep again.
Oh,
that was horrifying.
See, I don't have issues with that type of thing. I have issues with things that I get absorbed into stories and then they don't let go for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, who needs assembler anyway? By Johan. C64 Basic. This is going to be interesting.
Requires Vice with border mode set to debug, or any way to show.
Requires a lot of fiddling in an emulator.
And also needs an REU. So yeah.
Yeah, we were just working out how that was done there. We think...
Oh! Yeah, the timing tricks required... It's all timing tricks and setting it up, and the fact that he's doing it with BASIC is impressive, because you just wouldn't think that you'd be able to pull that off, because most of the things, you're going to need to control things exactly.
All roads lead to BRZ.
On a Macintosh Performa 5200, 75 megahertz 603 PBC with a slow frame buffer. That's the problem with these, the slow frame buffer.
All roads lead to assembly.
I'm thrilled that BRZ was asked to do that. I'll talk more about that later. Scratchtastic Squared by NewLine, the sequel to the Scratchtastic demo released at Inertia 2025 or 2005, made in Turbo Warp.
Oh, it's a scratch clone. Right, sorry, I was just reading what that was. Yep, so a scratch clone. Wow. Okay. Entry number 10 is Arborie by Golo. This is on the Ardu Boy, which apparently took them well over 10 years to actually get around to making a demo on that.
No. There were some Belgian folks that were doing it for a while, but yeah, the Ardu Boy is awesome.
Arborie Arbori. I'm trying to work out how the pronunciation goes on that.
Maybe it's Arbor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Emulator examination by Stargaze. Discovered some fun stuff 3 weeks before the party, so have a fun quickie. Feels like it's been a while since we saw a serious, since he's made a serious DS production.
So is that throwing shade at the original hardware or shade at the emulator?
It's
definitely the emulator.
This is explaining why you always run your demo on real hardware.
Yes. Anyway, there is 0G in Disco, apparently, according to Desire. It's on the Acorn wrist. That's the second demo I've seen with like state-of-the-art vibes.
Yes.
I've Skid Row debugged this one.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Paula's Revenge by RobSmithDev. The Amiga custom chip Paula for audio channels and a floppy disk controller. Overachiever.
Go Rob. Go Rob. Go Rob.
The Amiga's external floppy drive port, designed in 1985 to talk to floppy drives. We're not going to do that. It all started with an Arduino, Amos Professional, and a question that nobody had asked. Can you play audio through the floppy drive port? Apparently, yes. Next, proper C++, using the track disk dock device. You know, the one for accessing floppy disks. It's more refined, more professional. And then I bypassed the OS entirely. Direct hardware access, raw DMA. Paula is just sitting there with 4 audio channels and she's just watching me do this. I've been busy. Right, a Raspberry Pi Pico, a proper digital to analog converter, and a retargetable audio driver. Stereo output through the floppy drive port. There's also a mono mode, for the purists. Revision 2026 Wild Compo, because Paula was right there and I ignored her anyway.
I love that. Although you shouldn't ignore Paula.
Well, no, but I mean, but now we have a use again for the floppy drive port. I mean, hi.
14 is Bad Nipple by 0 Day Fest Light and Schaedelproduktion. We don't need Gen AI to create slop. This is not a demo. Okay.
Thanks,
it's
JCL.
for the Game Boy Advance, whatever it is.
Well done, Kevin.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, farewell to our viewers on Twitch.
Yes. If you
And also, this is not a demo. That's correct. It was just a playback video, just like
Also,
every other one.
More state of the art, anyway, as well. Anyway, Beyond the Pixels, 90% by Otomata Labs.
Did you say potato?
Potato
I said
version.
Otama.
Yeah.
Otomata.
Automata.
It's late, and it's on the Game Boy Advance.
It's late?
Beyond the pixels.
Beyond the Pixels, 90% party version. That's nice. Otomata Labs.
And yeah, if you've got a Game Boy Advance, definitely be checking that out on the hardware.
Next up, LFT, some Ergo Demonstro. Raspberry Pi Pico 2, or Pico 2.
Yeah.
Pico, sorry about that.
And
LFT here. I made another microcontroller demo for the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. And once again, the whole thing is implemented in RISC-V assembly language. A quick refresher on the hardware. So this is a €1 chip with a relatively powerful CPU, 520 kilobytes of RAM, and some peculiar peripherals like interpolators and programmable input-output blocks. Crucially, you have to get creative about how to represent graphics in memory, because at a resolution of 640 by 480, there's not enough RAM for a full screen frame buffer. This year I decided to generate a digital video signal instead of VGA, and for that I had to invent a completely new technique for layering effects in front of each other. Now, there's no HDMI connector on the Pico 2 board, but you can attach what's called a DVI sock. It's open source hardware, several vendors make it, and you solder it directly to the Pico 2, like so. Then you need a few resistors and capacitors for the audio. Schematics are included in the release. And with that out of the way, let's demo.
I am, therefore I demo.
Yeah, I thought that was the wrong way around.
Yeah.
No,
perfect.
it's not. All right, I'm going to try and explain this next one. So this is ready by the Bus Error Collective. This is an executable that dumps a WAV file. And then that WAV file is spit into the
An oscilloscope.
the oscilloscope. So this is an executable that gets dumped into a file that then gets dumped into the oscilloscope. This is actually real time, except you understand. $16K executable program.
Well, 13.2 kilobyte.
Okay, 13.2 kilobyte.
Even more amazing.
That dumps that into a WAV file that then goes into a...
And that is, of course, the final entry.
That was a Compo. I have several things to say about several things in that. I absolutely want that hardware, Rob Smith. So, Frankie and Terrible Fire, get me one, please. Thank you.